Right. Myself, Suresh, lecturer in mechanical engineering, Government Polytechnic, Chegunta. Okay, this will be the recap of previous class. Okay, so I'm working work holding devices used on lathe. Okay, so these are the different work holding devices used on lathe, chucks, collets, centers. Okay, so in this class, so we are going to learn about the lathe work holding devices. So those work holding devices are driving plate, carriers, face plate, angle plate, mandrels and rests. Okay, so now we are going to discuss about the carriers. A lathe dog or carrier is securely clamped to the face of the plate. So this carrier is secured or clamped on the face of the plate. Okay, so the ratio of the drive plate, the rotation of the drive plate is transferred to workpiece through dog. So through the dog, the rotation of the drive plate is transferred to the workpiece so that we can perform the operation on the workpiece. Right. So these carriers are used to drive the workpiece when it is held between two centers. So when we are using these carriers means, so when the work is held between the two centers, so we are going to use the carriers. So this is a diagram of a lathe carrier. You can see here. Okay. So bent tail lathe dog with headless screw. So there is no head for this lathe dog. Okay, it is a headless screw. Okay. Next, bent tail lathe dog with square head screw. Okay. So this will be the lathe dog. Okay. So it consists of a square head screw. This will be the square head screw. Okay. And next, bent tail clamp lathe dog. This will be the bent tail clamp lathe dog. Yeah, these are the lathe dogs. Yeah, next one is face plate. So it is open slotted circular plate with large diameter. So face plate is consists of a larger diameter. It will be a larger diameter. Okay, and consists of a open slotted circle plate. So workpiece is clamped using T bolts. But by using T bolts, so we can hold the workpiece or we can clamp the workpiece. So mounting work on face plate so provides an ideal way of supporting works. So what will provide? So what will happen here? So mounting work on faceplate. On faceplate, how you are mounting? What will be the mounting work on faceplate? So which provides an ideal way of supporting work, which cannot be conveniently held by chucks. So we can see the diagram of a faceplate here. Yeah, next one is drive plate. So drive plate is a slotted circular plate attached to lathe spindle. So this will be the slotted circular plate, so which is attached to the lathe spindle. So the drive plate is used to drive a workpiece. So with the help of carriers or dogs. So with the help of carriers or dogs, the drive plate is used to drive the workpiece. A lathe dog or carrier is securely clamped to workpiece. So, so on to hold the workpiece. Okay. So a lathe dog or a carrier is securely clamped to the workpiece, and its bent tail fits into one of the slots in the face of the plate. So in the face of the plate, the bent tail will fits, okay, into one of the slot of the face plate. So rotation of drive plate is transferred to workpiece through dog. So through the carrier or a dog, the rotation of the drive plate is transferred to the workpiece so that we can perform the operations on the workpiece. This will be the diagram of a drive plate. So next one is angle plate. Angle plate provides an efficient means of holding work of complex and irregular shape, which is inconveniently or even impossible to clamp in jaw checks. So this angle plate, where we are using angle plate is, so whatever the components we are not able to hold with the help of jaw checks, that is, so which is inconvenient or even impossible to clamp the workpiece in the jaw checks. So those workpieces are hold or held on the with the help of angle plates. Okay, the angle plate is attached to face plate. So the angle plate is attached to the face plate, and the work is clamped to angle plate. The counter weights are attached to opposite of face plate. So the counter weights are attached to the opposite of the face plates to counterbalance the work and angle plate. So to balance the work and the angle plate. So we can see the diagram of the angle plate here. So angle plate line diagram. So this will be the angle plate line diagram. So this will be the face plate. This will be the face plate. So it consists of a counterweight. So this will be the counterweights, and this will be the angle plate. So this will be the angle plate, and this part is called workpiece or work or job. So next one is mandrels. So mandrels are used to hold and rotate the hollow works between centers. So between the two centers. So these mandrels are used to hold and rotate the workpiece, hollow workpieces. Okay, so we are not with the help of these mandrels, we are not rotating the solid workpieces. So here we are rotating the hollow workpieces between the centers. So mandrel is a hardened and tempered steel bar. So mandrel, what will be the construction? How will be the construction of the mandrel is? So it is hardened and tapered steel bar with centers on its flat ends. On its flat ends. The mandrel is rotated by the lathe dog. So how we are rotating the mandrel means with the help of a lathe dog or a carrier and a catch plate. Okay, and the work is driven by friction. So how you are how you are driving the work means with the help of a friction. So these are the different types of mandrels here. So solid mandrel, gang mandrel, expanding mandrel, cone mandrel. Okay, so this is a diagram of a solid mesh mandrel. You can see here. So this will be the expansion mandrel. You can see it in different view. So next one is cone mandrel. You can see the diagram of a cone mandrel. So next last one is rests. So rests provides additional support for long work pieces. So where we are using, why we are using for rest means, so it is a additional support for the long work pieces. So it helps to prevent deflection on workpiece. So what is the purpose of this rest is it helps to prevents the deflection on the workpieces under the action of cutting force of the tool. So whenever you are performing cutting operation on the workpiece, okay, so there will be a chance of getting deflection on the workpiece. So to prevent the deflection on the workpiece, okay, under the action of cutting forces of the tool, so this rest will support the workpiece so that so we can prevent the deflection on the workpiece. The use of rest is recommended where the length of workpiece is 10 to 12 times the diameter. Okay, so where we are recommended for the rest means, so where the length of the workpiece is 10 to 12 times the diameter. Okay, there we are using the rests. So we can see the diagram of a rests. So this will be the rest. So types of rests. So steady rest, follower rest, steady rest and follower rest. So while coming to steady rest, so steady rest is the clamped on bedways. So we are where we are clamping the rest means so on the bedways. So in the required position where, between headstock on the tailstock. So where we are fixing the steady rest means so on the bedways in a required position between the headstock and the tailstock of the vehicle. So steady rest is used when a long piece is machined or drilled at its end. So when we are using the steady rest means so whenever you are performing a drilling or machining operation on the workpiece at the end of the workpiece, okay, so there the steady rest is used, okay, by holding the job in a check. So it avoids the chances of deflection of job at other end. So what will do with the help of this steady rest? It avoids the changes. So it avoids the chances of deflection of job at the other end. So you can see the diagram of a steady rest. So these are the jaw clamp screw. Okay, jaw clamp screw and jaw adjusting screw, jaw adjusting screw and jaw clamp screw. And this will be the adjustable jaw. So this is adjustable jaw and bed clamp screw. So by adjusting this bed clamp screw, so we can fix the or we can hold the or we can fix the steady rest on the bed guideways. So between the headstock and the tailstock of the lathe. So next one is follower rest. So it is mounted on the lathe saddle and moves together with the carriage. So where we are where we are mounting this follower rest is so it is mounted on the lathe saddle and moves together with the carriage. So it will move along the carriage only. Okay. So it performs the same function as that of the steady rest, but so it has two jaws which supports the work opposite to the tool. So for this follower, so it has two jaws. Okay, so which supports the workpiece to the suppose the workpiece in opposite to the tool. So we can see the line diagram of a follower rest. So this will be the jaw clamp screw, and the jaw adjusting screw. So by rotating this screw, we can adjust the jaws, two jaws. So next topic is tool holding devices. So the cutting tools used in the hexagonal turret requires special holding devices. Okay, so on a hexagonal turret blades, so we are using a special holding devices. So the cutting tools used in the hexagonal turret requires special holding devices. The tool fitted in a holder is designated according to the type of holder. So based on the type, according to the type of holder, okay, we are fixing the or we are fitting the tool in a holder. Okay, so types of tool holders used on capstan and turret lid. So straight cutter holder, multiple cutter holder, knee tool holder, flange tool holder, knuckle tool holder, farm tool holder, roller study tool holder, die holder. Okay, so we have how many we have? Eight. So eight different types of tool holders used on the last turret and capstan lathe. So first one is straight cutter holder. Okay, tool is held perpendicular to the holder shank axis by three set screws. So with the help of three set screws, okay, the tool is held perpendicular to the holder shank axis. Okay, so by the three set screws. So with the help of three set screws, the tool is held perpendicular to the holder shank axis. The shank can be mounted directly into the hole of the turret face. So how we are mounting the shank is means the shank is directly mounted into the hole of the turret face. So it is used for turning, facing, chamfering. Okay. So this straight cutter hold is used for to perform the turning operation, facing operation, and chamfering operation. Okay, we can see the diagram of a straight cutter holder. Okay, this will be the straight cutter holder and the workpiece. So this will be the a single point cutting tool. You can see the diagram here. So this will be the holder, straight cutter holder, and this will be the cutting tool. Okay, next one is multiple cutter holder. So it can accommodate double tooling in its body. Okay, so in multiple cutter holders, so it can accommodate double tool in its body. In its body, we can accommodate double tools. Okay, so it facilitates the cut simultaneously with more than one tool. So with what will facilitates? So the multiple cutter facilitates the simultaneously. It cuts the simultaneously with more than one tool from same same tool station. So it can cut or can perform more than one tool. So we can perform, we can use more than one tool simultaneously to cut on the workpiece. So its shank is mounted directly in a hole of turret face. So it is also similar to the straight cutter holder. The shank of the multiple cutter holder is mounted directly in a hole of the turret face. You can see the diagram here. So we can see here. So we are using two cutters simultaneously. So this will performing straight cutting operation, straight cutter, and it is performing turning operation. Or totally we are performing a step turning operation. Okay, so this will be the inclined. So actually it is a multiple cutter holder. So here we have two cutters. Okay, so within less time or within no simultaneously we are performing the turning operations, or we are removing the work material from the workpiece, so that we can reduce the time. So you can see the diagram of a multiple cutter holder. So next, see here. So knee tool holder, you can see here. So knee tool holder is directly bolted to the turret face. So this knee type holder is used to directly fixed on the face of the turret. So and additional support is given by the overhead payload, so which is located in a bush. Okay, so with the help of knee tool holder, okay, the additional support is given by the overhead payload, so which is located in a bush. So within a bush, okay, so overhead payload is giving a support. Okay, that is additional support. So next, so it is useful for simultaneous turning and boring or drilling. So this tool holder is used for operating or performing turning and boring operations, or turning and drilling operations simultaneously. So you can see here, this will be the knee tool holder. So flange tool holder. So tool holder is bolted to the hexagonal turret. So this tool holder is directly bolted to the hexagonal turret. So it is widely used for holding. Okay, holding boring bars, centers, shank type tools. Okay, so we are so these type of bars we can hold the with the help of flange tool holder. So boring bars, centers, shank type tools. So flange tool holder. We can see the diagram here. So this will be the flange, flange or flange. So next one is knurling tool holder. So it is fitted to the turret face. So almost all tool holding devices are fitted to the turret face except one or two. So the nulls can be adjusted to null on different diameter work. So on different diameter works, the null tool can be adjusted. So you can see the diagram here. So these are the two nulls or rollers, null rollers. Okay. So this will be the adjustable screw for the nulls. So you can see here. So next one is palm tool. So tool holder is mounted on a dovetail slide, and its height is adjusted by moving within the slide, as you can see here. So tool holder is mounted on a dovetail slide. So where we are mounting this palm tool is on a dovetail slide. On the dovetail slide, okay, the dovetail. So we are mounting the tool holder, and its height is adjusted by moving within the slide. Okay, next. Circular form tool is held in similar way and its height is adjusted by rotation. So on the by rotation of the tool form tool, so we can adjust the height of the form tool, circular form tool. So form tool holder is usually held on cross slide. Okay, so straight form tool holder. You can see the diagram here. Straight form tool holder. Okay, this will be the tool holder which holds the tool. Okay, straight form cutter. This will be the straight form cutter. So which removes the material excess material on the workpiece or job. So next one is roller study tool holder. Roller study tool holder. Rollers and tools are contained within a box-like structure. So you can see this. So rollers and tools are contained within a box-like structure. So where we are placing or where we are containing these rollers and tools are where we are placing these rollers and tools are where, so where we are attaching these rollers and tools are within a box-like structure. So both rollers independently mounted on slides. So for both rollers are independently mounted on the slides, can be adjusted for wide range of diameters. So why we have to uh, adjust this based on the diameter of the workpiece. So we can adjust both rollers independently. Okay, which is mounted on slides. So improved surface finish. So no deflection of workpiece leads to inaccurate work. So you can see here. Die holder. Self-opening head is used for cutting external threads. So self-opening die head is used for cutting external threads. Okay, so using a capstan lathe. So on the capstan lathe, if suppose if you want to perform external threads, okay, so with the help of die holder, it is a self-opening die head is okay. So it is a self-opening die. Okay, so head is used for cutting external threads. So by this tool holder, so accurate threads are reduced by adjusting the cutting dies. So by adjusting the cutting dies, so we can produce accurate threads on the workpiece with the help of die tool holder. The machining time is reduced. You can see here. This will be the diagram of a die holder. So next one is lathe operations. So these are the different types of lathe operations performed on the lathe machine. You can see here. So you can see here a bit straight turning. So here we are performing a turning operation, straight turning operation. In B bit, so we are performing taper turning operation. So we are producing inclination to the workpiece or job. You can see here. So profiling. Okay. So we are doing profiling here. So these are the cutting tools. Okay, used on lathe. It is a single point cutting tools. Okay, next fourth one is that is D, turning and external grooving. So this will be the grooving. This will be the groove produced on the workpiece. So turning and grooving. Next E, facing. So this is a facing operation. Already we have discussed all these types of lathe operations in previous class. Okay, so this will be the work, cutter, single point cutter. So next F, face grooving. This will be the diagram of a face grooving. Next G, so cutting with a form tool. So this will be the tool holding the. Sorry, this will be the tool, form tool. This will be the works. So by rotating and pressing on the tool, we can perform the forming operation on the workpiece with the help of a form tool. So what will be the shape of the form tool? The same shape will formed on the workpiece. Okay. Next H. So boring and internal grooving. So here we are performing boring operation and also a internal grooving. Next one is that is I, that is drilling operation. So on lathe, so we are performing drilling operation. We are making holes on the workpiece. Okay. So the drill is held in a spindle chuck, that is tailstock. So with the help of tailstock, we are holding the drill. Okay. So that we can perform the drilling operation. So that we can perform the drilling operation on the workpiece. The workpiece is held in a chuck, that is on headstock. That is in headstock. So next one is cutting off. That is J, cutting off. So here we are performing the cutting off operation on the workpiece. Next K, threading. You can see here. So this will be the cutter, single point cutting tool. So this will be the workpiece. So we are performing threads on the workpiece. So we are performing thread cutting on the workpiece. Next L, knurling. Okay, this will be the workpiece, which consists of a threads. Okay. So suppose if you want to produce nulls here, knurling operation. If you want to produce knurling operation, so the help of this knurl tool. So it consists of two rollers. By pressing these two rollers against a rotating workpiece, okay, so we can produce the knurling operation on the workpiece. Whatever the shape on the rollers, the same shape is formed on the workpiece, so that we can perform the knurling operation. The main purpose is so for gripping of the workpiece. So you can see here turning, produce straight, conical, curved or grooved workpieces. Okay, so in turning we can produce straight, conical, curved or grooved workpieces. Okay, next we are coming to facing. So in facing operation, which produce a flat surface at the end of the path, at the end of the workpiece. So we can produce a flat surface for a cylindrical bars. Next, boring. So boring is nothing but enlarging a existing hole. If you want to enlarge a hole, okay, so the help of a boring tool, so we can make or we can enlarging a hole. We can increase the size of the hole. Next, drilling. So drilling is the operation of producing a hole on a workpiece. Cutting off. So cutting off is operation. It is a lathe operation to cut off a workpiece. On the surface of the workpiece, you can perform this cutting off operation. Threading. So threading is one of the important operation on the performed on the lathe. So it is used to produce threads on the surface of the workpiece. Surface that those are cylindrical surfaces. Knurling. So in knurling operation, we can produce a regularly shaped roughness. Okay. Next, lathe tool geometry. So can you identify the type of tool used in the lathe operation? So there are the different types of lathe tools. Okay. You can see the edges or cutting points of the lathe tools. So for each and every tool, there will be different shapes. You can see here. So cutting tool used in lathe operations is a single point cutting tool. Here we are using only a single point cutting tool on a lathe. So single point cutting tool. So means having only one cutting edge at end. So what is a single point cutting tool means? So it have only one cutting edge at end. So here also we will get a cutting point here at one end. So here this will be the cutting point and this will be the cutting point for this tool and this will be the cutting edge for this tool and here this will be the cutting edge for this tool. So this will be the cutting edge for this type of tools. So then similarly this will be the point and here also this will be the cutting edge. You can see here. So types of lathe tools. So machine tools. So those are classified into two types. Single point cutting tools. Example lathe tools. So multi-point cutting tools. Example drill bits, reamers, milling cutters, etc. So types of lathe tools. So classification of a single point cutting tool. So according to the direction of feed. Okay, according to the direction of feed of the single point cutting tool. Okay, so it is classified as right hand tool. Right hand tool. So left hand tool. So what is right hand tool? So fed in cutting the metal from right to left. So we are giving the feed to the workpiece from the right to the left to remove the excess material on the workpiece. So cutting edge on left side. Okay. So left hand tool. So this is totally opposite to the right hand tool. So feeding is given to the metal from left to the right. So in previous case right to left, but here so left to the right. So cutting edge on right side. Okay. So you can see here. This is a facing the lathe. Okay. Left hand, right hand, tail stock, head stock. You can see left cutting tools. You can see different types of single point cutting tools here. Roughing tool, finishing tool, side facing, and round nose. For right hand cut, roughing, finishing, side facing. You can see differences. Left hand cut and right hand cut tools. Right. So according to the purpose. So based on operations like facing, parting, etc. Okay. We can classify the types of lathe tools. Workhorse, finishing cuts, parting cuts, 60-degree threading. See the cutting edges of each tool. So based on the type of operation only. So we are classifying the how we are classifying the types of lathe tools. Next, according to the method of manufacturing. So forged or solid tool, tipped tool, you can see here solid tool and tipped tool. So terms used in lathe tool geometry. So they are the different terms used on or used in lathe tool geometry. Side rake angle, side relief, heel, end relief angle, flange, flank, shank, base, back rake angle, cutting edge, side cutting edge angle, nose, face, end cutting edge angle, shank. Okay, we can see the different terms used in lathe tool geometry. You can see here. So what shank? So this shank is nothing but the body of tool or part on one end of which the cutting edge is formed. So this will be the shank. Okay. So this will be the body of the tool or a part on one end of which the cutting edge is formed. This will be the cutting edge. On this for this cutting edge one on the other end there will be a shank. Next one is face. So this will be the face. You can see here. So top surface of the tool between shank and the point of tool. So this will be the face. So between the shank and the point of tool. So this will be located. This will that is face. So chips flow along this surface. So along the face, the chips will flows. Next point that is cutting edge. So wedge shaped portion you can see here. Wedge shaped portion where the face and the flank of the tool meets. Okay, you can see here. So this will be the flank and the face. Face and the flank of the tool will meets. That is called point. The cutting part of the tool. So this will be the point, and here this will be the point. So we can cut the metal from this point. So also called nose. Okay, for round nose tools. Next one is flank. So portion of the tool which faces the work. So this will be the flank. So which faces the work. So surface adjusted to and below the cutting edge. So this is the surface adjusted to below the cutting edge. So below the cutting edge, this surface is adjusted. So base. This part is called base. So surface of the tool shank, so which bears against the supporting tool holder. Okay, so this base supports the tool holder. Okay, to hold the tool. Heel. Next one is heel. You can see here. So this part is called heel. So it is a portion at the bottom of the tool. So the bottom of the tool. Okay, the heel is, you can see here. So where the base and the flank of the tool meets. So base and the flank will meets here. So this part is called heel. Next, nose radius. Nose radius. So curve formed by joining the side cutting edge and the end cutting edge. So it is called nose radius. So nose provided with a radius called nose radius. So whatever the radius provided by the nose, that is called nose radius. Next, sharp cutting nose weakens the cutting tip. Okay, so nose radius provides greater strength, prolonged tool life, which increases the tool life with the nose radius. So tool with too long nose radius leads to chatter. Okay, next, cutting edge. So portion of the face edge along which the chip separated from the workpiece, that is called cutting edge. Side cutting edge. So edge formed by the intersection of face and the side flank, that is called side cutting edge. So it is the actual cutting edge. Okay, side cutting edge is the actual cutting edge. So next one is end cutting edge. So edge formed by intersection of face and the end flank. Okay. So this will be the summary for this class. So single point cutting tool are used in general works on lathe. So lathe tools may be classified according to direction of feed, purpose, method of manufacturing. Okay, and these are the terms used in lathe tool geometry: shank, face, point, flank, base, heel. Okay, so now we can stop here.